Something we talked about yesterday, the landscape shifting. There's three potential, one's a legal case, and two are transformative proposals to the world of college sports that could absolutely shatter what we know of college sports right now.
Indeed.
It essentially be the elimination of the NCAA. One of them is a court case where a cornerback, Corey Colley at NC State, is suing the NCAA for additional eligibility, saying you can't stop my right to earn money playing college football just because you have this arbitrary rule of I can only play 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that one. The other one is the U.S. Soccer Federation is working with 32 apparently schools in college soccer to make a men's super league, essentially, in a year-round soccer league, which would be
with
dramatically
guidance
different
from U.S. Soccer and possibly FIFA,
and maybe FIFA, and big funding from U.S. Soccer. But we also talked about the latest on the Power Four, and really the Power Two, Big Ten and SEC, taking hold of college football and creating a completely separate organization that would be operating under an LLC that would be a governing body. It would be enforcement. It would be guardrails up against the world of college athletics and where NIL and the salary cap is going. And they would take all of the enforcement in with penalizing schools by the millions of dollars, taking away salary cap money for every dollar you go over.
Transfer slots.
You've got to go. You get that dollar amount taken away the next year if you're over the cap. Transfer and limiting transfers. But another one in this, and yesterday when we were talking about this, I said, this is going to be the biggest hurdle to climb if you don't have antitrust protection. And it is, they want to have a third party come in any NIL deal outside of the salary cap, that $20.5 million we've heard about. They want a third party to come in and basically give a fair market value assessment and say, nope, this is too much money. You can't be given that in NIL to an athlete.
They want communism in the NIL space.
They want to stop it and say, that's not fair market. How you can't pay him that much money. Well, the state of Oregon yesterday, there was a bill proposed. It is House Bill 3694, and it is aimed to basically keep the NCAA or any other organization from requiring college athletes to disclose NIL agreements if the agreements have non-disclosure confidentiality provisions. Essentially, what that means is that any college athlete in the state of Oregon would not, by Oregon law, be required to go through that third party, and that is a crotch chop to a rule that doesn't even exist yet in college sports.
And that's, we know where that's coming from, in the sense of Oregon has gotten to where they are because they've managed the NIL space damn near better than anybody else in the country, and they're going to sit there and go, we're not going to allow, the leverage that we've gained to be knocked back because somebody in the SEC doesn't like it.
And this is exactly how NIL came to be in the first place, right? Remember, it was state by state. They were going through, and each state was passing legislation saying, nope, NIL is
Tennessee,
legal in our state.
Georgia,
Oregon
Ohio
was one of the first, and Oregon was one of the loosest with it, whereas like high school kids can get NIL deals if they want. Like, we're not going to stop.
Yeah.
We're not going to stop at college. Like, if you're a high school kid, you can get name, image, and likeness. Yep, you can get it too. It's like Oprah. You get an NIL. You get an NIL. You get an NIL. Well, now we're seeing state by state this is happening. Remember, Georgia, they came over the top and they said, yeah, we're going to be tax exempt from NIL. Illinois did the same thing, and they said, no, we're going to make sure NIL is around and here to stay. What the state of Oregon is proposing in this House Bill 3694 is, yeah, if they want to put that guardrail up that there's going to be a clearinghouse and they're going to tell you, no, you can't earn this money.
You don't have to participate.
You don't got to do it. By our laws in the state of Oregon, no. And this is what happened with NIL in the first place, was the NCAA said, oh, crap. Now we just have to let it go because so many states were coming in
fighting against it.
And you're already seeing the pushback to having that clearinghouse even exist.
As they should. Like, I get the whole putting the guardrails around whatever we want to call this new Super Cup, world of 70 or 80 teams in college football, the top 75, top 80, whatever it is. But the whole idea that you can put a cap on earnings, hell no.
No,
hell no.
When I read that in the article, I was like,
I'm on board. Non-starter.
I'm on board with a lot of the things they're talking about, right? If you have that $20.5 million in money that you can spend on all of your sports, great. If you want to have...
That's money that's being generated by those players playing those sports, and it should go back into those exact same coffers and not into the pockets of the NCAA.
If you want to go, hey, we're going to ding you $1 million because you went over $1 million.
Fine.
Yep. If we're actually going to have real and legitimate punishments towards coaches, not the student athlete, for the transgressions of the university. But yep, I agree with that.
It's an IQ test. It's like the drug test in the NFL. It's like, look, you've got X amount of dollars to work with. Don't fudge it. And if you're going to go outside that, do it in your freaking NIL. Don't be so stupid to think that you could kind of massage it over here and a little bit there, and then, we can get away with this. No, they should make that punitive. And if you're going to operate outside that on the NIL space, then go do it. I don't have those built-in advantages that, whether it's Oregon's NIL or living in Texas tax-free or being in Georgia tax-exempt, that's how this country works.
Yeah, they're not.
You move to different places. You go to different places based on different rules and exemptions and allowances that will allow you to chase your dream and how you see fit. That is the fundamental basis of this country.
What they want to do in whatever the new organization that runs college football or college athletics outside of the NCAA, whatever this LLC that they're going to be putting together is, they want to eliminate the haves and the have-nots. That is inherently against capitalism, though. So if you're going to be paying student athletes, they're going to be able to get the money. And fair market value is whatever the market says.
That's exactly what fair market value is.
And so
if one person's willing to pay it, ladies and gentlemen, ding, 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 market value.
And so I appreciate this rule. I think it'll be good, not just for Oregon, but I think it'll be good for Oregon State as well, especially in the landscape of like baseball, right? Because if we all know that the big chunk is going to be going towards football, men's basketball, and then women's basketball is going to be getting a big chunk of it as well. If the third party of NIL can start peeling off more money for recruits, that's really good for a well-funded program that has motivated and great boosters and followers as well. So I think it'll be a boon for both of the local big schools here.